If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is VSiN By The Books on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We begin hour number 2. It is VSiN By The Books. I'm Dave Ross here at Circus Sports Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Our closer, Jensen, was back home in Cleveland, Ohio. Jensen, to begin hour number 2, going to catch up with our guy Josh Inglis. You can follow Josh as I do at covers_Josh. Joins us on the Progressive guest line. We've got a kind of a 2-for-1 today, Josh. We're going to get to baseball here in a second. But we do have to begin with a little puck action, getting ready to go down, since we're down to the Final Four here. And I know you've got some plays in tonight's game. Very quickly, we got one Canadian team left in Edmonton. They're going to go to Dallas tonight to begin Game 1. Does Canada turn its lonely eyes to Edmonton? And now with Toronto being knocked out, how much now is Edmonton Canada's team?
I always see this when someone's like, yeah, I'm just going to root for the Canada team. I bet they have double spaces after a period of that generation. I think that's where it is. I don't think anybody really cares. I think we're at a point where, because of the Canadian dollar, it's just hard to get players. It's really difficult to compete with Dallas and Florida when their tax situation is putting another 25 to 30% in people's pockets. It's massive. And the weather. Let's be honest. Hey, you want to live in sunny Florida and make 25% more? Yeah, okay, here. Oh, you want to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals in 3 straight years? Yeah, come on by. And Dallas is in that same boat too, because they're competitive. I know they got knocked out by Edmonton last year in 6. But we'll see another round here. It's just an incredible spot where in this sport, nothing is the same from games 1 to 82 than it is now.
Right.
The Leafs won the division. They were incredible. They're not a playoff team. With their current roster, they don't have it. And they have to beat the likes of Florida, who 3 lines, last night, walking into Carolina, fully rested. Carolina just cruised. They might have had the easiest path to the Eastern Conference Finals, but just cruised until they met Florida. And Florida was on 1-day rest. They had the worst schedule spot in the history. Just finished 7 games. Florida has emptied out their opponent's barn in 3 straight games. Toronto in Game 5 was one of the most embarrassing games that have ever existed in the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Game 7 was that even worse. And then they emptied the barn in Raleigh last night. Florida's an absolute juggernaut. It's kind of reminiscent of what we saw maybe with the Rays in terms of how other organizations want to blueprint a team. And, we always hear the copycat league in every sport, basically. And now we're just seeing it with Florida, who, okay, doesn't matter, don't care. We'll finish 8th, we'll finish 7th. And this roster will just beat up people the entirety for 16 wins. Got a tough one tonight because Edmonton, I don't know. Edmonton probably is the least disrespected team, which is crazy because they went to 7 games last year in the Stanley Cup Finals. But this roster is worse than the one they had the last year. They already started Skinner. They dropped Skinner. They went to Pickard, and now they're back to Skinner, who all of a sudden is playing out of his mind. He played great in the Dallas series last year, but his range of outcomes is still so wide. The widest of probably any NHL goalie of the 16 who started the playoffs. And they're a team without Matthias Ekholm, who is skating, but their defense is playing well with Wallman. They don't it's not even Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So if these guys start to contribute, things are looking up for Edmonton. Am I cheering for Edmonton? No, I think Dallas is still the better team in the series. They got Heiskanen back, who's finally playing big minutes. Last year, they were struggling with defense, but now they're running 7 defense. And one thing, if you're a betting person, watch Mikko Rantanen. Yes, everyone's talking about him. He's at the top of the list for the Conn Smythe situation. But the guy's getting double shifted because they're going 11 forwards and 7 defense. The guy played 25 minutes in that closeout game versus Winnipeg. It's starting to wear on him. And I think he's leading in the points at 19 for the Stanley Cup points race. But he's playing big minutes. It's wearing on him. I wouldn't be looking at him for Conn Smythe. Maybe look for someone like Ottinger. somewhere in that 20-1 range if you like Dallas to go far. And maybe Thomas Harley is someone I took at 200-1 after a goal and an assist in that Game 6 versus Winnipeg.
Love that, Josh. And I'm with you on the Stars tonight. I've even been a bit more adventurous on the puck line because I do feel that the Stewart-Skinner fade, at least in games 1 through 3, will still be alive and well here when they get underway tonight. Let's shift it to the Diamond. A boat race down in Miami by the Cubs offense against the Marlins. I think we get a little regression here today. Two great young arms on the hill, Cade Horton, Max Meyer. We would expect some free air conditioning down there in South Beach, but you're looking at Cade Horton here on the Cubs side for a couple of player props.
I've just been really into this record the win market because I don't think it's the same from book to book to book. I think there are discrepancies. I don't think anybody really chases it when it moves. It was really fun to play before the books changed the price on the Rockies, who, can we be honest, the Rockies might be the worst professional organization in our generation, still sitting at 8 wins, like a minus 160 run differential. Just get the opposing pitcher to record the win. They were minus 300 yesterday. The starting pitcher to record the win was even money. There's lots of value there. So Horton to record the win at plus 210, I think, is a good spot here. Meyer, I think, is still slightly overrated in terms of what we think of him after that amazing strikeout game. I think he has an 8 ERA since then. He's struggled mightily, and the Cubs bats can certainly do something here. The toughest thing here is obviously for Horton to get his 15 outs, but he's been efficient so far, and like you said, good arm. I like the efficiency, and to get to 15 outs, I usually do the spot on Wednesday, and I've learned my lesson. Let's not look for pitchers to get beat up on a Wednesday on getaway days or just afternoon baseball, because it's a thing. And there's nothing more frustrating than looking for runs when you're seeing guys swing early in the count throughout the entirety of the game.
Yep.
So let's go Horton for the win. And I think another little hedge I have is on the under 1.5 walks at minus 115. 0 walks across his 2 starts. So if there is low volume in this spot, which we're kind of expected with an 80-pitch leash, I like it. Some other spots in some late games. JP Sears over 4.5 strikeouts plus 120. He's kind of been K-sufficient, or sorry, K, what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient, not efficient. I don't know. He's not striking out people like he was in the early season.
Proficient.
Yeah, I know, but he's there, and he's got a good matchup versus Halo. So they had one of the worst strikeout K percentage team in baseball. I'd like Sears to get back to his early season ways. I think we're getting a discount because of that. And we saw him get to like the 100 pitch mark. They really overused him early in the season. So wouldn't be surprised if we saw that 95 to triple digit pitch count, which is a K per inning Sears. And I like it. Gosman coming off of season high pitches. Gents, this is one of my favorite angles. Guys who go season high and then get scaled back the next game.
Yes.
I mean, guys get handled with baby gloves in the MLB now. We understand that. So Gosman, he hasn't gone over 17.5 outs in back-to-back starts. He's got a tough run here versus the Padres at home. He gave up 3 home runs. He is one of those roller coaster pitchers. And if you see early in a game where guys are just spitting on that spitter or on that splitter, then you know he's not going to get those. That pitch count's going to go up because guys aren't swinging over top of it. So Gosman under 17.5 outs at plus 135. I like that as well.
All right, for the embarrassing loss of the day, I thought it was going to be the Reds getting, losing 1-0 to the Pirates. And then the Mariners said, hold my beer. They get shut out in the south side of Chicago against the White Sox. Do you think Logan Evans today, is that a pitcher you want to back or maybe fade somehow again with Seattle and the White Sox?
So my morning of handicapping baseball is just trying to find what's not priced in to the pitcher market. Sometimes finding guys making their 8th start with indoor conditions, nothing changing really. You're not going to find a lot of value. So it's guys like Horton, it's guys like Evans who don't have a lot of sample size that are tougher to price. And you add in the White Sox and you add in potential rain that, I mean, Jensen's been watching the Guardians. It's tough to get that game in from Monday by the looks of it. And that was a tough one because I had both of those pitchers in that Monday game under 2.5 earned runs because of that rain. And all I needed to do was get that game in yesterday because a lot of books have that 24-hour carryover. Couldn't even get it in. So that one hurt. But Evans, I'm just going to double up on Evans because we saw his strikeout go from 3.5 to 4. and now it's minus 170 to the under, which I'm not playing, but his under 5.5 hits is somewhere in that ballpark. So I'm going to put both those unders, the strikeouts, the hits, together for around plus 145. I think he played plus 135. Rain, love the rain, but there's also that low pitch count for Evans, who projects for 82 pitches. Afternoon, White Sox lineup. There's a lot to it. Wanted the under hits. It was priced out. We saw the strikeouts go from 3 to 4, so said, hey, why not throw that in there too?
Love it, Josh. Last one from me, and we will hit the Padres big time in the Daily Diamond and Whiff Wednesday coming up here. One final question on the pitching market, because I watched Tarek Skubal start last night. And again, for the Cardinals playing as well as they have and how their offense is going, it was kind of remarkable to see them actually do some damage there. Hunter Brown going for the Astros today. Tough loss for them at a walk-off yesterday. Those are the top two guys in the Cy Young market. If you had to hitch your wagon to one of them, who ends up on top? Does Skubal repeat, or do you like Hunter Brown to take it home?
Skubal's a funny one because you can always get him. His out total's like at 18.5, and it's reasonably priced every day. But Skubal isn't a 100-pitch pitcher. You watch him. They really like to keep him at that 90 to 95 range. So there's always value there. Hunter Brown is a guy who projects really well for his under 17.5 outs, but I think the projections just don't think that Hunter Brown's as good as he is, but I've lost a lot of money on Hunter Brown doing what he's done all year. So Hunter Brown on that side. I got Yamamoto on the NL side from earlier in the year. I'm happy to be on that one. I can't believe we didn't get the win last night, but we're seeing Kodai Senga kind of falter. He was the one I was a little bit more worried about. So I think it's, Yamamoto and Hunter Brown, I think, is where you go for the Cy Young chase.
Josh, great stuff as always, my friend. Can't wait to see the puck drop tonight down there in Dallas. And good stuff about the taxes. Yeah, you want to get those low taxes. You're playing in Dallas. You're playing in Florida. You're not spending like
sure. We can't even compete. We got Florida Panthers coming out telling Toronto players like, oh, they can't play here because there's too much pressure. Basically tampering with the team to tell them to come down to Florida. Absolutely gutless PR run from the Panthers at the end. Beat us and then got our players not to re-sign.
That is so good. Josh, we appreciate you as always, my friend. We're coming back with little highlights and headlines next here at VSiN By The Books.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
Enjoyed that conversation with Josh Inglis in the last segment here, Jensen. We're going to have Sean Little join us in hour number 3 to break down the NBA. Of course, all eyes will be on Madison Square Garden tonight. Adam Burke's going to join us in hour number 3 as well, break down his slate of Major League Baseball. And Wednesdays with Wes Reynolds going to join us to break down golf. Charles Schwab Classic going on. Yes, Scotty Scheffler is in the field there as well. We know we've already got 2/3 of the big races here in horse racing already done with the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. Great run by journalism to get that done. One more to go. You can bet, though, not just on the Preakness and the Belmont and the Derby, but First Bet's got you covered each and every day. Exclusive promotions when you sign up. Bet on hundreds of horse races each and every day, right from your phone and or computer. Visit firstbet.com. That's the number one, stbet.com. Use a promo code VSiN200. You're going to score a 20% rebate on all of your wagers for the first 60 days, up to $200. So don't miss out and start betting on those ponies at firstbet.com. All right, Jensen, this is going to be a lot of fun as we continue with our highlights and headlines.
Help your bottom line with today's highlights and headlines.
We know it's official. The NFL owners vote to allow their players to compete in the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. That's flag football. That's why you see the great header, flag in the play, if you're watching at VSiN.com. And I know, I already saw some people, we talked about it with Robert Edwards. If you go back to when the Pro Bowl was played, they put it on the beach one year, flag football, and tore up his knee, was never the same guy and that's the cautionary tale of it. What do you make first before we have some fun with this segment? We don't get homework assignments very often. We got a good one yesterday. But that the owners have said, yeah. Go ahead, guys. You can play in this thing. I feel like they're doing it, and it's good PR. But behind closed doors, they're like, oh, my goodness. What did we just agree to? We're going to allow our guys with these big salaries to go play flag football. And, like we just hope nobody gets hurt. Like, Jensen, there's got to be some trepidation, even though publicly they're saying, hey, good old US of A, let's go win some gold.
How similar is this for you, because it's an exhibition, for the comparative nature with Four Nations and World Baseball Classic? That answers question number one, okay? If that is similar trepidation to where we know most owners of hockey teams and baseball teams like, I don't want my star players doing this, but we have to because it's agreed upon.
Right.
That's kind of where they are. So that's what I line it up with. This is the only time, because we said the NFL probably has the most difficult of the big four of when they could do this and if they could do it, just knowing the physical toll that actual pads and running full speed at each other does, and it's tackle football. At least you get a relief from the flag football nature of guys aren't hitting each other, or at least they're not coming at each other the way they would in a regular NFL game. So that being said, yes, the non-contact injuries, we see it all the time in training camps. We've seen it before in games. So I don't think there's as much trepidation from that side. It's like, it's an exhibition. These guys want to do it. We'll see what happens, but I think it's phenomenal. Can't wait, and the ratings are going to be through the roof here in America for people that want to watch it.
I'll just say this, and you and I, when you were out here in Vegas, we got to watch the Four Nations together. I mean, people might have forgotten Matthew Tkachuk did get injured in that, right? Charlie McAvoy, he got hurt as well. Like, we saw real injuries happen from Four Nations that went into the regular seasons of the NHL. Like, we understand that this is a real possibility, and I hope the NBA gets there with something that looks very different from what the All-Star game looks like these days because it's non-watchable, that you could get some real competition, whether it's, international play, something like that. But there are the injury concerns that go with it. But, Jensen, at some point, do you just say, man, we got to play. Like, it's good for our sport. Yes, that threat does exist. Edwin Diaz, going back to World Baseball Classic, for Met fans, we lost him for the whole year, right, when he blew out his Achilles there in the World Baseball Classic. It's going to happen. How do you overcome that, though, as leagues and say, yeah, we'll put our star players out there for the betterment of the game? Are we making this case here with USA football?
They're trying to grow it, right? And no better stage, at least from an international standpoint, than the Olympics with as many countries that are watching it. So, hey, we've already got rumors of 16 international games at some point upcoming for the NFL. Perfect segue is, hey, here, let's get people started in it, and then we'll move you up to put the pads on, tackle football, and if you're good enough, come play for the Shield. And I think this is a great way to do it.
All right, very quickly from a betting perspective, because you go back to the 92 Dream Team in Barcelona, right? What are the odds going to look like? Because you're going to be able to bet on this. What are the odds going to look like on USA flag football against, say, Greece? Like
unbettable odds. Unbettable.
It's going to be through the roof. I mean, we have to win this. We have to win the flag football event in L.A. We can't lose that, Jensen, right?
You are parlaying whatever tournament Scotty Scheffler is favored in with USA money line in flag football.
All right, so here's my team that cannot lose. Now, again, the homework assignment we were given by Brandon Valesky, our star producer, was, again, you can only have one player from each team, because I think that's what it's going to be for USA football here, right? You're just going to have one representative potentially from a team. So we were given the task of a quarterback, running back, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, a D lineman, edge rusher, if you were a linebacker, and then 3 DBs to round it out. So, Jensen, you ready? You and I do not know what our teams consist of. But here's mine. I'm going joystick quarterback. If there wasn't an event that was made for Kyler Murray, I mean, this screams Kyler Murray. You can't catch that guy with flags on his hips. No chance. Give me Kyler Murray as my quarterback with no line that he's got to look over, and he can just zigzag his way to make sure he can make plays downfield. Boy, Saquon Barkley, he can jump over you. He can go sideways. Good luck getting the flag away from Saquon. And then receivers, I was told that we have some similar choices at receiver. I did go with the cheetah. I mean, hey, Tyreek, just run. Nobody's going to be able to keep up with you from Greece or Canada or Russia. You name it. It ain't happening. JJ, Justin Jefferson, my goodness, the moves that guy has, pretty darn good for my second receiver there. Jamar Chase is going to be rounding out my third. I actually had Malik Neighbors was going to be my third wide receiver that I went with the Giants, but Jamar Chase, not a bad option as well. Brock Bowers, I know he's a little bit bulky at the tight end position, but he's always open. He's open in the NFL. He's going to be open in flag football. I love Micah Parsons. Had to get him on my lineup here. So 11, stop podcasting, go out there and get somebody's flag, get that quarterback. Edgerrin Cooper might be my favorite linebacker to watch in the NFL right now. The guy just has a different level at 56, same number as LT. Love to see him in this competition. I went with Tariq Woolen, Denzel Ward, and Daddy's kid, Patrick Surtain II for my DBs, Jensen. All these guys make plays and shut you down. I don't know that any international team is going to be scoring a lot of points against my DBs.
I love it, dude. You are right. We have the same 3 wide receivers and tight end, and we did not know beforehand that it would be this way. So no shock there. So for mine, I thought the same. Who's the joystick? And this is the caveat. If we had to run a team out there today, this is who we would do. Lamar. I mean, come on. The guy is so dynamic. I mean, even in tackle football, guys can't even grab his jersey, let alone try and bring him down. Ashton Genty, all right? I think he's going to be a guy that not only if he doesn't have the Halloween stance anymore, if Chip Kelly wants to get that away from him, he is still going to be scary for opposing flag football defenses to try and take down here. On the defensive side, hometown hero here, Myles Garrett. He plays for money. He plays for the team. Oh, no, wait, he plays for both. Will he play for the Stars and Stripes? Will he give that same effort, or will he demand that he be paid commensurate the rate? TJ Watt will be in there as well. Okay, so I would like to, I know I have 2 guys from the same team, so I got to take Jahdae Barron out.
Yeah.
But he would be in there if Patrick Surtain cannot go in a few years. And I would put in Sauce Gardner. I think I'd put Sauce in there. Kyle Hamilton, maybe the best safety. I know Danny Higgins smiling somewhere there in Las Vegas.
He's giving you a fist. Yes, he's got a one-arm raise for you back there.
Hate to give Ravens guys any love here, but so I cheated a little bit having Lamar and Kyle from the same team and Patrick Surtain and Jahdae Barron. But that kind of gives you the idea of where guys are at. By the way, just throw this out there. Warren Sharp does a great job at Sharp Football. He threw this same query into Grok and ChatGPT. So Grok threw out Lamar, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bowers, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Fred Warner, Jalen Ramsey, Sauce, Patrick Surtain, and Kyle Hamilton. ChatGPT, Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Tyreek, and JJ. Micah, Jair Alexander, Sauce, Derwin James, Kyle Hamilton. Pretty solid.
I think we did pretty good with the assignment. And again,
we're like AI.
Yeah, we are.
We're like AI, dude.
I would say that our teams are not losing. We're at least minus 1,500 against anybody else in the country. Whatever country you are, you're not beating Jensen and I's team. By the way, betting splits, check them out. You want to become a VSiN Pro subscriber, VSiN.com/subscribe, $9.99. It's as little as that for your very first month to get those betting splits, not just here at Circa, but also at DraftKings. So check it out today, VSiN.com/subscribe.
Tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
We are back, VSiN By The Books. Dave Ross, Jensen Lewis. Loved the conversation in the last segment, breaking down our teams here for the LA Olympics in 2028. And, it is, we're kidding on the air about, we can't lose that. We can't. There's certain things for Team USA and certain sports you just can't lose. We can lose in basketball now because it feels like the rest of the world caught up to us. But you go back to 92 with that dream team, right? Not only were they not going to lose, but they couldn't lose. I just wonder, Jensen, baseball, it's become so global now. When you have the World Baseball Classic, I mean, if the United States wins, it almost feels like an upset. Will this help? like other countries? I know we're going all over. You mentioned the 18-game schedule. We might get 18 games a year now somewhere across the world here with the way the NFL is going global. Do we think if we looked ahead in the crystal ball in 20 years, will flag football help football be reached out to different parts of the world that doesn't exist today?
Could see it. Yeah. I mean, there's been so many initiatives by various leagues to try and grow the game. And the NHL now playing the international series,
Yep.
being able to go back home to Sweden and Norway and what we hope is eventually Russia. And if you want to talk about city connects and throwbacks, can you imagine the Russians throwing out the old CCCP jerseys? I think the Hefe, Steve Cohen, you and I, we all talked about it when I was there for Four Nations. I mean, you got to get the Russians in. We got to get that. Can you imagine the buildup for that matchup? Oh, my God, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, take the politics aside and let those guys play. That'd be amazing if we could do that. And, they'd be chomping at the bit to get back into a situation like that. So we'll see how global flag football gets. We know how global baseball is. Let's kick off Whiff Wednesday today with one of those guys out there that can you just book him every time he takes the bump and say, man, I got to ladder up when Hunter Brown's pitching?
Yeah, right now he is on a really impressive streak. So the headline today is Brown and out to start Whiff Wednesday, and he has been recording plenty outs via the strikeout. 5 straight starts now, Dave, 9 or more punchies. Oof. We're going to dive down a little bit and kind of intriguing to see where this number was hung here early this morning. 6.5 is the over-under for him. So we'll take the 7. Got to pay a little bit, minus $1.40 there on DraftKings, and then we'll jump up to 8 or more strikeouts at plus $1.30. If you think he keeps the 9 or more streak going, more power to you. Yesterday, you would talk about one of the bad beats ever. Dylan Cease punches out 5 of the first 7 guys he faces, and then we have to sweat like all get out for his high 90s pitch count to get him his 6th strikeout to cash the Dylan Cease and Tarek Skubal 6 or more strikeout parlay. So we'll be a bit more conservative on that front. So 7 or more to minus $1.40 for Hunter Brown, 8 or more strikeouts at plus $1.30.
Yeah, and again, very quickly, just we kind of looked at Hunter Brown this year, and I know this is somebody we talked about before the season even began, to look at the Cy Young possibly here. Why has it changed for Hunter Brown? Has it changed for him, or is this just the guy now that's maturing into the pitcher he could always be?
This guy was billed as perhaps the Justin Verlander heir apparent, and was in a similar build as far as physical stature and stuff. And so if you remember the last couple of years that Verlander was with Houston, Hunter Brown was this prospect that everyone was like, okay, this has got front of the rotation stuff. We can afford to let Verlander go because now to be Framber Valdez and to be Hunter Brown, and then the rest of, remember, Houston has still a half a rotation on the IL, right? With Christian Javier, a couple other guys there, Lance McCullers Jr. just coming off the IL here the last couple of weeks. So he's just had premium stuff, premium wipeout off speed, and he's put it all together this year in a great start to his 2025 campaign.
He looks amazing. He looks like that young gun. Houston just keeps reloading front end of the rotation. Hunter Brown's going to be there, hopefully with good health for years to come. North of the border is where you go next for Whiff Wednesday. What do you have?
All right, so Josh Inglis highlighted a fantastic angle that I had looked at last night. And Kevin Gausman has just not been really resisting Padre hitters in his career whatsoever. So in that frame of mind, we say your prayers, Gausman and Blue Jay fans, because the career averages for some of these San Diego hitters against Kevin Gausman are fabulous to try and back today. Luis Arise, how about 7 for 9? Yes, a boatload of singles, but that's a 778 average. That's good enough for me. Fernando Tatis Jr., 8 for 17, a double, 2 bombs. And a couple of other guys that have hit him pretty well, and Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts. So here's what we did, Dave. We took the guys with the best numbers and parlayed them together, Arise and Tatis, to record a hit. Minus $1.55 on DraftKings. Then we took guys that have had very respectable numbers in Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts against Kevin Gausman, put them together to record a hit for plus $1.06. So we think there's offense tonight. Also, VSiN Pro subscribers, official play in pocket for me. We are backing the Padres on the money line, plus $1.30 underdog in Toronto tonight. I think they do bounce back after getting shut out yesterday.
It's been a rough stretch here for the Padres after getting swept by Seattle. And I was talking to Gil Alexander in our crossover yesterday before they get ready for a numbers game after us here weekdays on the network. And Gil pointed out he's been like always one step ahead. Like he had the Mets for the first 10. It was the Mets for the best record in April. He had the Twins for the best record in April. They might get it for the best record in May. He was on the Padres for May. I might look to the Padres for June if this keeps going over the way it's working out for Gil here. So maybe the Padres might start to turn over to the good foot here north of the border today. What do you have here for DeGrom? For the D-backs and for the Snakes and the Dodgers. Is that where you're going next?
All right, so when we look at where some of these matchups are, we are going to go to the Bronx.
Okay.
We're going to go to New York and Texas. And I mentioned earlier when we had Josh on that it felt offense could finally bounce back here. And we got a little bit of it yesterday late. A cheap home run there from Aaron Judge. But
right.
For those of you who had him, 4 more total bases and to hit a bomb, you cash that one. But this an intriguing matchup with Jacob deGrom against Ryan Yarbrough. We do like deGrom because of his 6 consecutive starts with 2 earned runs or fewer. We also like an Atlanta and Washington matchup. Braves and Nationals lock horns again today. And it's A.J. Smith-Shawver, who we backed last week, Dave, in a start against the Nats. He has been on a hell of a run himself, 5 consecutive starts, 2 earned runs or fewer. Here's how we're tackling it. We're going to go deGrom under 3.5 hits allowed.
Ooh.
I know that's a very small number.
Under
okay, now
3.5.
You got to be
whoa.
Under 3.5 plus $1.10. The swing and miss capability matched up against the Yankee lineup. I think he's in a great spot to be able to capitalize on some plus money. A.J. Smith-Shawver, not reinventing the wheel here. Under 2.5 runs, earned runs, cash for us last week. We're going to do it again this week, minus $1.55. But I do think the Rangers are able to get the bats out against Ryan Yarbrough in the Bronx tonight. I do like the over 7.5, and I think the Rangers are the ones that get a boatload of those runs tonight.
You know, we were talking about the best records in May, and Minnesota, by the way, with that rain, they're only going to be able to get in potentially the suspended game, complete that one of the 2, but they're going to miss out a game, and that's going to be replayed in September. So if you had the Twins for best record, and no guarantee they win that game, but still, it's like, man, you're losing out on the opportunity for that win. We talked about it going into the month, that it's one of those tricky weather months, right? Like, just for future reference for people. And again, June, you're not going to get as much, you would think. You're going to get some in some places across the country. How important is that to be looking at, certainly in the East Coast, where you might still get that bad weather, and you just, by limitation of rainouts, you're not going to have the same opportunities as other teams out there?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously is one of those. And again, when you think about where some of the road trips are and the opponents, that to me is your first handicap. Weather and the venues are part of it. None of us can predict the weather.
No.
It's the only profession where you can be under 50% success rate and still keep your job, right? It is part of it. And, knowing that the Rays hopefully will be back at Tropicana Field next year, I mean, that changes everything being in the Dome. So just it's a part of it, but still primary is who you're playing, when you're playing, and how they're playing.
I used to always have fun with my co-anchors in D.C., Sue Palka, Tony Perkins, when they were doing the weather, and I would just go, can you just get an Alberta Clipper in there? Can you sneak in a Clipper for me? And they're like, Dave, it doesn't work like that. I'm like, I don't know how this weather stuff works. I do know how Sharp Plays works, and you should check them out as well at sharpplays.com. They're already there helping those lines get the better of those lines before those numbers move. They're not going to be able to outmuscle the billion-dollar sports books. You can't do that on your own. Full-time professional bettors. Sharp Play is going to help you. They're going to help you get that cutting-edge AI, trusted insider sources. The Sharp Play is going to deliver the edge that serious bettors rely on. You're going to get free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights, all delivered right to you via email and or X. And this isn't a startup that just happened yesterday. They've been around since 2011. They got receipts, public logs. It's right there on the site for you. That's why they are respected, watched, and feared. That's the Sharp Plays. Check them out now at sharpplays.com. Top of the hour, we're going to get to Sean Little in New York City to talk all things Knicks and Pacers and beyond. Adam Burke and Wes Reynolds. Much more to get to, including some news and noise. It is next.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're tuned in to VSiN By The Books, right here on VSiN.
Great guest list coming up here in hour number 3, headlined by Sean Little at the top of the hour, Adam Burke in the middle, and then Wednesdays with Wes. But before we get there, I got to ask you this, a very pertinent question. Is it news or a whole lot of noise?
Is it news?
Corleone is a man who insists on hearing bad news immediately.
Or just noise?
Are you going to act like this is news? Just noise. This is noise.
Let's separate the impactful from the insignificant with one simple question. News or noise?
What is it, the Emperor in the Star Wars series, Jensen? Was just taking over everything, right? Like, we're taking over everything. It feels like the Shield, the NFL, is trying to get global domination. And we talk about we're growing the game, right? That's what we're doing here, Jensen. Or are we just taking over the world, NFL? Because it's taking over ours. And there's no doubt in the sporting landscape, right? The NFL is king here in America, and I don't know how close it is. Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, says that 16 international regular season games could be coming very, very soon. Jensen Lewis, is this news or noise?
Boy, you putting Goodell in the same breath as Emperor Palpatine, that's definitely a vision. I thought you were going to at least give him an opportunity to be like Jon Snow from Game of Thrones and fighting for the good, of the world there. But hey, this. For what we've seen now, and we talked about, what flag football would mean in the 28 Olympics and how it will grow the game just from an international flavor there. This has been not only the NFL, but MLB wanting to do World Baseball Classic. We've got games in London now every single year, or at least trying to have international series every single season. The NBA has had, the games in Paris, and of course with Victor Wembanyama, and then, having our international flavor with Jokic and Giannis and some of the great stars of the game. I think it's fabulous. I do wonder from a scheduling handicap and a betting handicap, and I brought this up to you when we looked at where the Vikings in particular, right?
Yep.
They're going to be abroad for 2 straight weeks. I would think it lends us to wanting to back the Vikings in that second week when they'll be in London against the Browns. Browns going to have to come over, get the body clock right.
Sure.
Not a lot of onboarding time. So I don't think we get a home team over there, just knowing what the total hours travel time is. But this doesn't shock me that every week they're going to want to do it. And guess what? 9 a.m. football, 9:30 a.m. Eastern football. Not mad at it here. Not mad at it whatsoever.
No, and I'm right there with you. Like, we talk about this schedule, right? What we do each and every day. And I'm still an East Coast guy at heart, trying to get accustomed to this schedule. Imagine doing that if you're the Browns on that short week going over there when the Vikings have already got their body clocks readjusted. Yep. I think that's a big handicapping spot in that. And again, they've got 7 of these international games this year. So to go up to 16, you're more than doubling what we're already getting right now. But when Goodell says it could happen, it is going to happen, right? Who are we kidding? We're going to 16. Like we talk about with expansion in the college football playoff, and I keep saying this, like when it went, I liked when it went to 4, the original 4, right? You got rid of the BCS. Nobody liked that. So let's go ahead and go to 4. I was like, well, when you go to 4, that's great. But they're not going to stop at 4. And then they're not going to stop where they are now. It's going to keep going. So just get ready, NFL, because, again, in this report, potentially every team could have an international game. And one of my favorite things with our producer, Brandon Valesky, is, the Vikings got to do it twice. And he's like, the Cowboys, they don't even go over there once. And I'm like, You keep our name out of Goodell's mouth, right? Let's just stay stateside and not make us do that travel. But at some point, we're all going. Everybody's going to be going over there at some point. But I can understand for some of these fan bases going, why does my team have to go and be at a disadvantage? It might actually be an advantage for the Vikings this year. The story that will not die is Bill Belichick down there at UNC. Shout out to our guy, Michael Lombardi. Of course, he used to do the show here with Michael on a Lombardi line. I don't know that Michael signed up for all this, but I'm sure he's okay with it. Bill Belichick reportedly is now engaged to Jordan Hudson. So is this news or noise? Because when we keep talking about it, because more news keeps coming up, I wonder how much we're talking about Carolina versus how much we're talking about Jordan Hudson.
Right now, September 1st is kickoff, and it feels like for all these other players, it probably can't come soon enough just to get the focus on the field. Carolina, $1.20 money line favorite right now, total 59.5 against TCU. There's a lot of crazy in the world, but this one is so diabolically different from all the other details and angles that continue. Like, it just when you think it's wild enough that you want equity in a Hard Knock show, and I would love to have seen cameras rolling when those executives took the call and were like, you want what? Like, it was a similar reaction when I heard the reports about Caleb Williams and his family being very serious, saying, oh, we want equity in an NFL franchise.
Yes.
If you're taking us number one. Who are you? Like, what? Are you kidding me? It's not even remotely possible for what logic you think you have in tow here in this conversation. So I think we still hammer the under on the win total at this point, just because are we? I don't even know where we go next. Like, what happens? What happens next?
Again, for those that are not up to speed on that, the report also included that Hard Knocks did want to go potentially to UNC, and maybe the deal breaker was Jordan asking for, as you mentioned, some sort of ownership stake in that series, which sounds insane here on the surface. That how do you make those demands? I don't know. But again, remember the letterhead, when it comes out, she's on it. I mean, this is amazing. And again, I root for love, Jensen. I really, truly do. And if Bill Belichick is happy, and this is they're engaged now apparently, and again that report says that Jordan Hudson has told at least one person that they're engaged. I hope one of those people is Bill Belichick. I hope this isn't crazy talk of like, oh yeah, we're getting married. Okay, but it does feel like when there's this much talk about what's going on in year number 1 at Carolina, Deion Sanders, when he came into Colorado, there was a whole lot of talk about a really bad football program, and Deion turned that over quickly. So I wonder, is it going to be the Deion angle where everybody wanted to fade Colorado? That didn't work out, by the way, because Colorado smashed those win totals early on, right? And I just wonder now, with all this talk going around the program, and we haven't mentioned the team necessarily once. I'm with you. The only way I could look at it is to play unders, but I will say this. You know that Michael, Bill Belichick, maybe even Jordan, they would love to be laughing at the end of this thing going, see, you guys were all talking about this, and we go out and win the ACC, or we're a 10-win football team. I don't see it, Jensen, right now. Not rooting against it. I'm rooting for them, obviously, with our connections with Michael, but it does seem like right now there's so much talk about everything other than UNC football.
And I'll put a bow on it. We got tired of how many different times they panned to Taylor Swift,
yes.
in the luxury box. How many times will they pan to Jordan Hudson if UNC makes the college football playoff?
All I'm saying is Bill Belichick's my role model. As a single man, getting a little bit up there in age, who knows what 20 years looks like for me. This summer, you can go all in here at Circa Las Vegas with the ultimate getaway package. It's just $400. You say, well, what do I get for the $400? 2-night stay here at Circa, $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, and your very own daybed at Stadium Swim, and those are spectacular. That's where the party never stops. It's all for just $400. And again, resort fees and taxes are included in that package as well. It is a limited time offer. It's going to be between May 26th and September 4th, so check your dates. But inside of that, you got the whole summer to choose from. Don't miss out. Lock in your all-in summer package right now at circalasvegas.com. Derek Stevens, Mike Palm, the group here at Circa. It is spectacular. So come on out. Jensen, you've already experienced it. And by the way, when you stay sometimes, because I'll speak for myself. I'm getting a little bit older, so when I stay here, I don't need the every night by the poolside because that party doesn't stop, man. It's going to keep going if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, we'll do that on Friday. That's what we should probably do, is a little by the books from Stadium Swim on a Friday so that we can walk from our perch right into a cabana or something and enjoy it. But we'll be in bed by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock just because of our body clock for the show.
All I'm going to say is after football season, I expect to see Bill Belichick and Jordan here. At some point, I expect to see them on a daybed here at Circa. When we come back, hour number 3, you're going to catch up with Sean Little, talk all things NBA postseason. That is next here at VSiN By The Books.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.